Welcome to our newly renovated standard rooms, and this is our standard veranda, our balcony, depending on if you're on the first floor or the second floor. It comes with 2 chairs and a table. And this is our double queen room. And as you can see, we have our standard herring artwork on the walls with an accent wall and the wooden bed heads, and each bed has a reading lamp, and those reading lamps have USB type A outlets plus a standard outlet on the wall for you to plug in any electronics that you may have. Rooms also come standard with a flat screen television as well as a... This podcast is supported by Discovery Water. Whether I'm working or training, I reach for Discovery Water. 100% premium Jamaican spring water. Bottled in glass, no plastic, no gimmicks. Refill, not landfill. Just clean, natural hydration from right here on the island. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I know a bunch of people are coming over from the premiere that we just did on on the Four Z's Villa. I hope you all enjoyed it. I see some people coming in. We don't have our usual setup, as you can see. Let me know what you think about the sound. I'm just using my headphones here. The mic that I brought didn't not working the way that I wanted, but just let me know if this is okay and everybody can hear me clearly. I have some other options, but this is what we got so far. But we have I think a pretty good agenda for today. We're going to be, of course, talking about 4Zs. I wanted to use this as an opportunity. If anybody had any questions about it, we can discuss it a little bit more. But I've also been doing like a lot of preparation and due diligence for Throp-X, which brought me to the South Coast last week, which I also want to talk about some really, really, really exciting things happening over there. And also just kind of want to talk about just real estate in Jamaica in general, and just different exciting things happening in different parts of the island. And we'll do our normal catch up with everything. Also want to, from early on, and I'll also mention this as we get further into the stream, is we are doing Throp-X NYC Connect on Saturday, September 6th. So if you're in the New York City area and you want to come to the meetup, you can fill out the description. You can fill out the interest form in the description below, and we'll get you off the email this week with the location. So it's going to be 12 p.m. New York City, Saturday, September 6th. We're definitely doing it confirmed, and just working out the details with the venue. So it should be good. I'm really looking forward to meeting you, as many of you as possible. I'll also post it on the community page and also my Instagram. Want to keep the number. I'm worried about like where I post this and how much advertising I do, because I don't want this thing to turn into a circus in the sense of being like hundreds of people or anything like that. So space is limited. If you're interested, please let me know. Please let me know early as possible. Of course, everybody's already starting doing it. Let me know where you're chiming in from, what city, what state, what country. Always love to hear this. What's going on, Nicole? Chiming in from Mississauga. And actually just seeing you, Nicole, just triggered something about something that we are going to be doing for Throp-X. I'll let you know. Sorry, I just got a message saying that the live is messing up. Let me know if everybody can hear and see me okay. I think you guys would let me know. But anyway, yeah, you triggered something, seeing your name, Nicole. So I'm going to get into that shortly when I start talking about Throp-X. What's going on, Justin? Montel says, hi, Throp, checking in from Costa Rica del Sol, London. Awesome. Beautiful weather today. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. What's going on, Claudette? Thanks for joining. Lisa Marie, hi, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday from Connecticut. Nice to have you. Dr. Donna, the art appraiser. Greetings. Looking forward to hearing more about South Coast. Yeah, I think I want to get into that ASAP, actually. It's just so exciting. Really, really exciting. Carlene chiming in from New York. Carlene, if you're going to be around the New York City area next week on Saturday, it would be great to have you on at the Throp-X New York City Connect. Chris is joining from Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, guys, everybody saying the stream is going good. Great, great, great. Happy to hear. Robert chiming in from Florida. Trisha, hello, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday from Connecticut. Nice to have you. What's going on? Donna chiming in from Ottawa. Who else we got here? Patrice, greetings from Janice and Patrice chiming in from Palm Beach, Florida. Derek Rose here in Negril, in Atlanta for the weekend. From Atlanta. Okay, Negril for the weekend and from Atlanta. Nice to have you. Nice to have everybody on. Okay, so let's get right into it. So to start, for those who joined on the live stream with the 4Zs, appreciate you all getting some really, really good feedback. And it's my general thoughts about it is I know some of you have seen it in person already, but to me, like how it's positioned and in 2025 and how it's designed, and you saw it in the video and everything like that. I think it's speaking to the direction where new construction is going and what would I say? Just the modern traveler and then also the modern potential home buyer. I think this is something that they're looking for. This is the style that they're looking for. And I know I've been getting a lot of comments, and this is something I think it's great to talk about. Great to talk about and important to talk about, is this home for the average Jamaican? We've gotten this almost with every development that I've done on this channel, talking about, hey, this is not for the average Jamaican. The average Jamaican can't afford this. And it's somebody put in the comments like about foreign, like selling to foreign investors, and basically making the presumption that this was bought by a foreigner and is being sold to foreigners, which isn't necessarily true. This was a piece of land that was owned by a Jamaican who decided to sell the land, which he actually owns the entire, for the most part, owned the entire area, and he started selling off the lots. And even the person who's selling it is local and is a Black person. That's the other thing that they were saying, like they were making this into a race thing, which in my mind isn't the case at all, like not even close. And who knows who's going to buy this? It could be a local, actually somebody local Jamaican who lives here DM me directly and said that they're interested. I sent it to the seller, as a matter of fact, and they said they're interested in actually buying it and want some more information. So I think there's just like a lot of presumptions about the pockets, if you will, of and the economy and the finances of the folks who are living in Jamaica. And I've been saying this for like ever, is that there are many, many Jamaicans who are living in Jamaica, who make their living in Jamaica, that are doing exceptionally well. And I mean, there are just so many signs of economic improvement, surface level, if you will. I don't know. I always say this and preface this, like, I don't know, the pockets of these folks who are when you see these beautiful homes, or you see like just an uptick in very beautiful luxury cars right across the island. I don't know what their personal finances are, but for in my mind, if so many people can afford these luxury items and these luxury goods, it just tells me that something positive is happening here. And so I think it's just very presumptive for people to say that Jamaicans can't afford this. Now, of course, is this home and some of the homes that we featured that on the developments all over the island, are they for the average Jamaican? I would say no, maybe even not for the average US citizen, depending on where you come from. And I always like to put it in context, like even in New York, it's like walking around the city or walking around Brooklyn or anywhere, like, are these apartments that are for sale for the average New Yorker? Like, no, it's not. And I'm not saying like that this is fair or this is the way it should be, or not even close, but like that is the reality of the world that we live in, and it has been that way for a very long time. And I feel the comments of this nature are trying to say like this is something that is unique and happening to Jamaica, and I don't think that that's the case. And I think, is there an opportunity for something different to be done? Absolutely, absolutely. I think that there are also other real estate opportunities that are out there that are for people in different earning brackets, and it's not like that, like right across the board, like this is, there's only $1 million homes for sale. This is just one home. This is not a development, but I understand the sentiments, and it's not something that I ignore, but like everything isn't for everybody. And that's really the point that I'm trying to make here. And there is, I don't know. I'm not sure the motivation behind. I can't speak to the motivation behind everybody who's making these types of comments, but I could tell you that there are opportunities, real estate opportunities out there for all different income levels. Now, are you going to be in prime real estate location? No, and like it's the same thing in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. And again, I'm not saying this is fair. Like I've been through this type of situation before, and obviously not here in Jamaica, but it's just one of those. It's just one of those situations, and I don't know how to kind of make that any more clear for those folks who are kind of making those comments. And I also think on the other side of the coin, for those with a development entrepreneurial mindset, that this is a huge opportunity. I think it's a mega opportunity for where you see, say, a lot of, and I'm just like, I'm here in Kingston, by the way, so I'm just like looking out the window and I'm seeing like high rises, I'm seeing cranes, I'm seeing construction, and and it's like downtown, not downtown, it's New Kingston. And I know, those apartments aren't going for like 50,000 US or anything like that. Of course not, of course not. And those are going to be for folks who are going to be earning, a certain amount of money. But at the same time, I know there's a gap in the market, or opportunity in the market, especially with Jamaica as a whole, that's in a housing crisis, and we're just not building enough houses quick enough. And we talk about this all the time, right? And so again, for those with the developer background, the entrepreneurial mindset, this I think is a huge opportunity for you to come into the market at a certain level. But I think what you'll also find, what many people don't really take into consideration when they make comments of that nature, is the cost of construction. It's extremely high, for you to be doing anything. And I've said this before, like I think there has to be, at least if we're going to be building at the scale that needs to keep up with demand, there's going to have to be some sort of government intervention to get the cost of building homes down in order to make them affordable. I mean, even if you're making the most affordable of homes, people are still going to say it's expensive, because it is expensive. And we're talking about material, and then we're talking about labor too, because I think minimum wage is going to continue to go up to either keep up and hopefully maybe at some point outpace inflation. But minimum wage is going to continue to go up. And whether you're a minimum wage worker or you're a highly skilled person who's been in industry, I'm thinking like, say, like a mason or carpenter, electrician, like all these inputs of productivity that go into building a home, you'll see that their prices are going to go up in conjunction with minimum wage. So that makes everything go up, right? It's an element of inflation. And then we all start to say how expensive it is to build a home. So that's kind of my take on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And then, so on the other side, and if you can just start commenting on it, so we can touch on this before, because like touch on this after, excuse me, because I was having this thought about, man, this was like yesterday driving into Kingston, like what is a real way to address, say, the affordability of living, not even buying a home, but I would say, like, let's start off with rents. And I'm thinking again from both sides, like, what would it cost for a developer to do, say, 75 to 100 unit development? And then what would make economic sense for that developer to charge for long-term rent. Like, let's talk about not Airbnb or anything like that. Let's talk about, hey, we're trying to build a community here, right? And what would the price that they would charge that would be affordable on both sides, where the developer is obviously not losing money and then also making their money back slowly on their investment, but and he's obviously not trying to be greedy and get super rich, but then also on the other side of that, what is affordable? So that's the question that I have for you guys. Like, what do you think? Like, tell me from your perspective, if you're somebody who is in the diaspora, or maybe you don't live here, you're thinking about spending more time here, like extended periods of time, 2-3 months, let's say 3 months plus here, and it would be unaffordable to stay in a hotel for 3 months and paying nightly rates, and it's better for you to find somewhere to rent. So my question to you is, and just if you can just drop these numbers in the comments, we'll come back. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Like, what would you say would be an appropriate per month rent that you would pay on a 1-bedroom? And let's stick with, just say anywhere. I was going to say Negril, but let's just say anywhere. Like, what would you be willing to pay, and what do you think would be an appropriate price? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me go to the comments while you guys throw that in there. Sorry, let's scroll up here a little bit. I've got a bunch of comments here. All right, Carlene says we will be there at Throp-X New York City. Make sure you fill out the form below, because I'm going to be sending out all the information via email, and I just want to have exact numbers. The foreign speculator says, greetings all, chiming in from London. Nice to have you. Delroy, what's up? Brampton, getting cold here. Time to head back to West End. Suzette, hello again. Suzette was in the premiere earlier. Donna Marie chiming in from Miami. Mark, what's going on? Hey, Throp and Throppers, checking in from Brampton, Ontario. Love any recommendations on long-term stays in Jamaica, YouTube videos. Exactly what we're talking about here. Exactly what we're talking about. I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, even I mean, you see a lot on Airbnb, but I also recommend, hey, if you're looking for like a long-term stay, don't be afraid to reach out to these Airbnb places and see if you can work out a deal, and let them know that you're like, hey, look, I'm not trying to stay a week or 2 weeks. I want to stay longer. My brother has done that with his Airbnb in Negril, and you'll get a lower rate, and then the owners like it because, and especially if they have multiple units, they know for the X period of time that you're there, they don't have to worry about selling. Their acquisition cost of getting a customer is just zero at that point, and they can work on, say, their other 3 units. So just keep that in mind. Derek Gross is interested in South Coast. We have property in Deep West End. Awesome. Paulette Nelson, hello, Throp and family. Paulette from Vancouver, Canada. Nice to have you. Carlene, Nakua, return mixed nitrogen, oxygen, ocean. I'm not sure what this is saying there. Big up Throp and family, Strong Island. I love the Republicanism hiccup. I saw that comment before. I was like, did I say something like that? I can't remember. Remind me, please, Chris. Hello from Maryland. Tracy, good to have you. Yes, listen to Justin. Please hit the like button. Fitzroy chiming in from Cold Springs, Florida. Nice to have you. Douglas Joseph says, beautiful property, price not bad. I love the location. I wish I have those types of money. Great buy-in, in my opinion. Thank you. Chairman, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Montella, Jamaican real estate now akin to London and Japan. I think there's still some great deals. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I still think there's some great deals out there. And I would say, what I am afraid of is like, I guess it kind of goes along the fear of kind of what inspired this channel. It's just like, believe it or not, like people say, generally speaking, the prices here are cheaper than London, are cheaper than New York, are cheaper than Japan, let's say. And I think more and more people are realizing that. And then you also get more value for money here. And I just hope our community sees that quicker, sooner, faster than others are seeing it. And I think others are seeing it, others are seeing it quicker than we are. And we continue to be, I mean, not everybody, but, some people continue to be on the sideline as opposed to getting in. So that's my small fear here. Prince Diamond, where the hell do you get water for the high rise building? Which high rise building are you talking about? You talking about here in Kingston? I'm not sure. I'm still waiting for a condo in Negril. Know where I can find one. There are a few, or you can buy land and build your own if that's something that you want to do. Prince Diamond says the prices are ridiculous. Please define ridiculous. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. There are a lot of issues with that house. I would love to hear that too. Prince Diamond, one PNP. Okay, see where this is going. And Smith, Throp, I want Jamaica to always prosper. I only hope we as Jamaican don't forget about the middle class Jamaican. Some of these prices are outrageous. Fair enough, and we talk about this all the time on this channel, right? We talk about it all the time about the rising tide of Jamaica lifting all ships and putting the I wouldn't even necessarily say middle class, but I would say everybody, the average Jamaican included, of course. But how do we make them a priority? And it's just so important for society as a whole that they are the priority and in a way being thought of first, because we don't want Jamaica to turn into a country where only like a select few of people, and God forbid those few people are people that don't live here or not from here, but a select few people are the only ones benefiting from the trajectory that we're on now in 2025 and when we reach our full potential as a country, right? And I do believe we're going to get there someday in our lifetime. And so, how do we? And as my question was going to be like, how do we continue to put that conversation in that demographic in the forefront? And to me, it's having conversations and making sure that we're thinking of these folks and putting them first in when we see like a ribbon cutting ceremony or when the government is negotiating deals. And I'm thinking specifically housing, because like that is like one of the foremost issues that we have in Jamaica. And we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing many of the hotels and these mega hotels that are coming in Jamaica. One of the things that they're also including is they're building housing for their workers, which is well needed, which I think is a first step. It's definitely not the end all be all. We can get into education, we can get into infrastructure. Like you've heard me talk about that over and over and over again. And to me, yes, the prices may be ridiculous for some people, and look at it. Can I afford this? Like, no, I can't. Like, this is not for me. I'm not in the market to buy this home. But there are people who are looking at this. There are people who look at this and they're like, hey, that's it. That sort of thing. That may not apply to everybody, but I think that again, as we move forward, just making sure that we put the people who are coming up in society and make them a priority, because I think that's going to be, the best for everybody. Know Yourself says, have you checked out Treasure Bay State, Sir Throp? Yes, I was there this last week. So we're going to talk about that very, very shortly. That's like kind of one of the main things I want to speak about. Chris DDS says, I grew up in St. Elizabeth and found Black River to be extremely beautiful and ripe for development. Yeah, like Black River is like low key gorgeous, like really, 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 really gorgeous. And, just driving along that coast road, I mean, just stunning, and a lot of history there as well. But yeah, a lot of potential, a lot of potential in a big way. Montella says, has the Jamaican government got special schemes for the incoming Chinese real estate there in Jamaica? I don't know about incoming Chinese real estate there in Jamaica. I'm not familiar. I can't speak to that. Jamaica, London in the house. Good to see you, man. And listen to Chris Charles. Please hit that like button. Ann Smith says, Throp in Negril on the 7 Mile beach for rent, a studio apartment, $1,000, not on the beach, $600 to $700 a month. Okay. Thank you for that. I think that's reasonable. 1,000. 1,000 a month. What do you guys think about that? 1,000 a month for a studio on the beach, 600 to 700 off the beach. Yes. And I think you can, I don't know if you can find that on the beach. And the reason why I say I don't know if you can find that, I'm thinking like, say, hey, a yearly lease, right? Because December, January, February is going to be hard for some. I would say a lot of people who leave Jamaica in the winter, they book their, if you're staying long term, they book their room, or not, maybe not even long term, they book their room when they leave. So could you really get that? I think it's feasible. And I'm glad you think that's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. I think that's reasonable as well. But I'd also like kind of go into the 600 or 700, and I just think from like, again, like a developer standpoint, landlord standpoint, if you had a few units, maybe West End, Deep West End, man, maybe you can bring that even down. Maybe you can bring that down to 500. But let's go with like 600, right? That is, let's call it, argument's sake, 90,000 Jamaican a month. I don't know if there's any people living and working in Jamaica. Let me know what you think about that. 90,000 a month for a studio, which is $600 US for a studio. Not on the beach. You're still in Negril. Let's say West End. But I think there's opportunity to bring that down. I think you can bring that down. Chris says 1,000 sounds low. Yeah, yeah. I can see 1,000 being. I think it's reasonable. I don't know if anybody thinks that's high, but I think 1,000 is reasonable. And then I also say, like, I look at it also from a competitive standpoint, globally competitive standpoint, and I would love to have more digital nomads in a responsible way come to Jamaica and work here and spend their money here. But we don't necessarily, and again, speaking specifically for Negril, like we don't necessarily have at scale, we don't have the amenities that those folks are looking for. In many ways, Kingston is much better set up for that. Much, much, much better set up for that in terms of different places to work, co-working spaces, dedicated co-working spaces, nightlife, socializing, different clubs that you can participate in. But then there's some people who just love the beach. There's a lot of people who just love the beach, and they don't need any of that. As long as they're stone's throw from the beach, they'll be more than happy. But anyway, I'm just thinking about those folks, and would that be, how do we attract more of those folks who want to be on the beach, who can work from their laptop, but they want to go home to somewhere comfortable, and we don't have. I want to say comfortable. I'm more so thinking of a modern apartment with modern amenities. Of course, let's leave it at that and kind of let that matriculate a bit. And we don't have a lot of that available. We just don't have a lot of that available. So we need more. And I would just love more of those folks to be here, as opposed to like a Tulum, or we've talked about like Medellin. I mean, Thailand's a little far, but you know what I'm saying? These places that a lot of people go. I wouldn't even like, let's take the East out of it, because we're talking about like people who like work for American companies that want to be in the relatively same time zone sort of thing. And Tulum, I want to say is more. It's not want to say it is more expensive than Jamaica, like without question, more expensive than Negril for sure. And they're actually having some issues. I'm going to save that for a later live stream. But I think of Tulum, but they have the amenities. They're a beach town, but they have like the modern construction. They have the coffee shops. They have the Western food. They have the nightlife. They have the day life. I'm not sure about the community. I can't really speak to that. But I'm just like, when we're comparing apples to apples here, with Negril in particular, like they have a lot going for them, and it's a lot more expensive. So I know that was a very, very popular place, especially during the pandemic. So I don't know. I would again. I think we can do a better job of attracting that demographic of people with these prices that we're saying here. So let me just keep going with the comments here. Chris Charles, long-term renter may have to pay electricity and internet separate. Yes, yes, exactly. And especially electricity. I mean, that's something that I always say if you're doing any type of business in Jamaica, you have to think electricity and water first and foremost. Like that has to be part of your business plan. That also, from the landlord side and then also even the renter side, like it's just something you gotta be conscious of. Sean says I think that's reasonable. Donna Dewar says, "What's the rate on property in Black River?" I don't know. I can't speak to that. I haven't spent any time in Black River at all. Just driving through, and there's a nice coffee shop. Oh, I wish I remember the name. There's a nice little coffee shop in Black River, as a matter of fact, just off the main road that I go to. I've been to a couple of times. I won't say I'm a regular there. The foreign speculator says $1,000 per month for a beachfront property incentivizes people to sublet the property and live off the margins. I think that price is too cheap, but I'm not an expert. I mean, I hope you'd have like sublet stipulations in the contract if you're a landlord. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's a good point though, because like you know if you're on the I think this is the point that you're making, speculator, is like if you're renting $1,000 a month on the beach, right, and you're 12 months lease, and you're saying, hey, I can easily get $100 a night. That's 3,000. You're 3xing what you're paying, so you're making $2,000 a month off of that. But that's going to be very, very hard to get away with in Jamaica, like very, very, very hard. But point taken. Point taken. Natalie Holmes says, "Good afternoon. I'm late. What are we talking about?" So many things, Natalie. So many things. Shauna says 90,000 per month. Did I hear that correctly? That I just did the conversion from $600. We're just kind of spitballing here, and that was for an off the beach studio. And I think we can. I think there's ways to bring that down. I think there's ways to bring that down. But yes, that's what we're talking about. What's going on, Mosaic Travelers? Travels. Good to have you. I'd pay $1,000 a month on the beach. So, all right, you'd pay what's the most that you would pay for on the beach? Everybody's kind of saying that that's reasonable. What's the highest if you're staying long term in Negril? You're on the beach, and I was going to say new construction, but there isn't any new construction on the beach right now. And when I say new construction, built in the last 10 to 15 years, let's say. There's renovated places, but no new construction. So just keep that in mind. RN2 CEO, good to have you on. Lorraine, good evening. Derek Deuce says, what are your thoughts about Little Bay Country Club for modern amenities? Little Bay Country Club, modern amenities. I mean, Little Bay is like, that's pretty much, what would I say? It's the newest development in Negril, right? And they are, I would say they're the premium, I'm not sure what kind of word that you'd use, development in Negril right now. There's not much else to compare it to. Yeah, there's nothing really to compare to, right? And I say that on multiple levels. Like first and foremost, they're on the beach. Two, they're relatively new construction. They are a gated community. They do have amenities like a tennis court, basketball court, maybe a beautiful pool, and common area. Like I'm thinking common areas, like because I'm thinking as a runner, like it's a great place to run, right? Then you have, and like let's compare what else there is, right? Then you have Point Village, which is a hotel that was converted into condos, and they have studios to 3-bedroom standalone units, whereas Little Bay, they're all like you get a house, right? They're all like its own unit. Actually, some of them are split. I shouldn't say that, but for the most part, they are homes. Like you can buy a home, you can have a front yard, a backyard, somewhere to park your car. Whereas Point Village is more apartment style, if you will. The next one that I would say that is in that category, and these are developments that are built and ready, turnkey. You pay your money, you move in. Is the Aqueducts, which is downtown, not on the beach, and those are, maybe we should be taking a look at some of these. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at these. All right, let me throw this on the screen and everybody can see what I'm talking about here. Is this? Yeah, okay, got the right thing. All right, so this is Aqueducts Negril. I'm not trying to sell any of this. I'm just trying to build context here so people can see what's happening. So this is, let's see if we can get the map. There we go. Can everybody see that? I know it's kind of small, but this is downtown Negril. So this is the roundabout here. And then this is where the aqueducts are. And this is what they look like. Let's see if we can get these. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this is what the property looks like. We toured this in Throp-X 2022. I mean, my thing is, I think it's, I think this property is relatively nice. I'm just not a fan of the location. That's like my main thing. I would say if you're somebody who wants to be able to like walk to the store and walk to the bank, this is for you for sure, because like you're like literally almost at the roundabout, and that's something to take into consideration. Let's go to Little Bay Country Club. This is Little Bay Country Club right here. And as far as I know, these are all sold out. So everything here, like if you're buying one of these, you're going to be buying from an owner. So this has been the way that it's been forever. Let's see if we got anything for sale. Okay, we got one here for sale. This is made. Nope. Is this it? Okay, Little Bay Country Club. Yeah. This was, I think I saw in May. This was up. So this is what it looks like. So this is what I mean. Like this is like the newest, the most modern in Negril. Like this, I would say more or less is the turnkey standard in Negril right now. That's this is inside the house. I'm trying to get you like kind of see what I'm talking about with the units. So some of the units are like you got a top floor, bottom floor, and then a lot of them also like you get like it's your house. You get the whole house. Washer dryer. I've actually did a feature on this, like one of my first real estate features on my channel. So you can kind of it's like 4 years old, but it's still relevant, I would say, even today. And like I said, on the beach, beautiful pool. And this one, let's see how much this is selling for. This is going for 350,000, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 350,000. And this is the northern part of the beach. So let's zoom out if you can see that. So you're kind of at the beginning of Negril, if you will. That's where Little Bay Country Club is. And what was the other one that we said? Little Bay. Oh, Point Village. All right, let's Point Village. Okay, here we go. And this is Point Village. And like I said, these are like apartments. Let's see if we can get some pictures. So this is a 1 bed, 1 bath. I actually know this unit. Yeah, we did. This is the same unit we visited at Throp-X, which it wasn't for sale at the time. I mean, it wasn't listed at the time, I should say. This is the unit. See how like they're all apartments kind of thing. Like the 1, 2, 3. Those are all different apartments, like first, second, third floor. There are, I believe, only no. Is it 2? Oh man, I'm confused. I think there are only 2 or 3 standalone 3-bedroom apartments. Yeah, this is a studio, tennis court, on the beach, 2 private beaches, as a matter of fact. Washer dryer in this one. Okay, there you go. This is a better view, and you can kind of see how it's set up. So it's the end of Long Bay, and then like in the background there, that is Bloody Bay. That's like where Rio 1 and 2 are. That's like a 2-mile curve of beach. I don't know what do you call it. Oh yeah, and then Point Village, I forgot. It has a pool as well. Then it also has a rock pool, sea pool in there. Natural water pool, I should say. And then next to it is Royalton Hideaway. All right, so we're kind of on the same page there. It's kind of on the same, hopefully on the same page. Thank you for the question. I forgot who asked me that question, but this gives you an idea. So you get a little bit more space over there at Little Bay. I don't know. I don't know if that a particular apartment is a whole house. It doesn't seem so. And so like this is kind of apples to apples here with Point Village, and this one is going for 323,000. And look at that, Maura Watson is the realtor on this one. I did not set that up. That's just kind of how it worked out. But if you're interested, hit up Maura. I'm going to throw Maura a bone there. I'll throw this in the comment section there. You can take a look. Make sure you tell her I sent you, okay? All right, let's get back to the comments here. Where are we? I'm all over the place, I know. Oh yeah, Derek. Okay, you talk about a Little Bit Country Club. So you can kind of see like where we are with the amenities. So I also want to bring in 2 other developments as we have this discussion, right? So they are competing against each other. So like, let's call the 3 developments that I just talked about, Little Bay Country Club, Point Village, and Aqueducts. Let's say those are 3 turnkey developments, right? You pay your money, you move in, you get a house key, and you're good to go. There's 2 other developments in Negril that are buy your land, build your home developments, and that is Negril Estates, and then also Vista Bella. And we might as well go to that as well. So Vista Bella. So let's go over to Vista Bella, and you can kind of get an idea. So Vista Bella, let me see if they have, okay, perfect. They got a map right here. So Vista Bella is towards downtown. It's downtown Negril, but then you start moving southeast, going towards Little London and Sav, and that's where it's located right here on the map. I know it's kind of tiny, but it's along Napo Road, and you get an idea of where it is. And these are, let me see if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, so this is the entrance here. Vista Bella, they have their road infrastructure and not paved as yet. We visited 2 years in a row Throp-X. I do believe some people have put their down payment on this property. I'm almost certain. And you buy your lot. I believe they're just, let me hold on, see if I could find out the exact information before. So a 1/4 acre. So, just over 10,000 square feet. This one is 1,400. Oh, this one is, here's my calculator. This one is 1,400 square feet, but I believe the average is about 11, like a little under 11,000 square feet, just over 10,000 square feet. I think on average, don't quote me on that, but just around that. And you can see here, according to this one is 1,400 square feet. Hold on, a quarter acre. Let me make sure I'm saying the right things here. Let's just stick with what they're saying here. Don't listen to me. Quarter acre, $143,000. And you can see you buy your land, you buy the lot, and then you build your home. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some sort of rules that you have to follow with the construction, but for the most part, to my understanding, you can build your dream home. I think it's more along the lines of safety than anything else. And then the Negril estate is the same thing. So let's see if we can find that. Negril estates. All right, Negril estate. Not trying to platform anybody in particular. I'm just going to the first link that I have here. This is Negril estate. This is West End Negril. All right, they tricked me. But just looking at aqueducts, they're selling for $178,000, 1 bed, 1 bath. FYI. Just looking at real estate today, huh? Okay, this is Negril estate. So Negril estate, 200,000. This is looking like, yeah, this is just the lots. So they're selling a lot. Let's see how big this lot is. This lot is just under a quarter acre. And Vista Bella was this flat 1/4 of an acre. This is under. So Vista Bella looks like it's a little bit bigger. And I think that's the truth. Vista Bella's lots are just a little bit bigger than Negril estate. Hold on, I lost. Here we go. So going for $200,000. So different type of development, but these are what I just described. Those are the 5 developments in Negril. Those are the only 5 developments in Negril. And how am I categorizing a development? They're gated. They are selling units. I was gonna say there's one developer, but Point Village, that's not the case. You're actually buying from previous owners. But the other 4, they're all one developer sort of thing. And those are the 5 developments in Negril at this point. So that's what we're looking at for Negril and Negril's development opportunities as they exist today. Long-winded answer, I know. All right, let's keep rolling. Thank you for that, Derek. Mark says, as a semi-retired person, if I could get a comfortable spot, included good Wi-Fi and easy beach access, yes, I would. How much would you pay for that, Mark? What would you be willing to pay for? Oh, I just see your answer. I'm sorry. I think north of 1,000 would probably have me looking elsewhere. I see. All right. Yeah, I mean, again, I like kind of going through this thought experiment that I was having yesterday, driving to Kingston. I think there's like a great opportunity to do that. A great opportunity. I just think it would just be wonderful if there was a way, like a smart, savvy developer to do a development sorry, I'm out of focus. To do a development that is specifically geared towards that that monthly income. But it's when I say it's hard, it's very, very hard, because like when you, again, going back to the cost of construction, like nobody's going to do this for free. Like nobody's going to do this and lose money. It just doesn't make sense. That's not the way the world works. Like it just isn't. This isn't the way the world works. So I don't know. That's tough, right? And then you also need more affordable housing, right? I think about hotel workers, who I'll continue to talk about this and say this, like they are forced to live
Sav, Lucy, Little London, Sheffield's not so bad actually, but just outside of Negril. And I think it would just be just so much better for the micro economy if more locals lived closer. And when I say the micro economy is like when they socialize, when they go out for dinner, they go out for drinks, they go out to meet friends, that they do it. I know it sounds selfish, but they do it in Negril, right? As opposed to Little London. And yeah, we're sucking that economy away from them. But I think it would create just a better quality of life to have a shorter commute, and then also kind of staying within the community of Negril. Like, you'll create more of a sustainable community, right? But you know, hopefully we'll get there. We'll get there one day. You know, hopefully we'll get there one day. But yeah, 1,000. I hear you. I hear you, Mark. It's just something I'm going to continue to ponder and think on. Dr. Donna says 1,000 per month on the beach. I think what's going to take that. I mean, I would love that too, right? But it's going to take more inventory. Like, that's what it is. It's going to take more inventory for that price to become the norm, right? I'm just going to take more inventory. Okay, sorry, you guys are having a conversation. Donna Bryce says transportation, if staying at Little Bay, would be a consideration. If you're staying at Little Bay, I would say Little Bay, Point Village, even Negril Estate, and Negril Estate and Vista Bella, like, those are more than likely people who are living there, retiring in Negril. You're going to need a car, you know. You're definitely going to need a car. Aqueducts, you can get away with it because you can you just walk down the hill and you can grab a taxi. And then, of course, like, I mean, all these other places, like, you know how it is. You meet a taxi guy, they become your taxi guy, and you can just ring them up to come pick you up and stuff like that. But you know, you do. I guess you do. I mean, I guess I do that when I travel, and I do my extended travel. Like, even when I was in Thailand, like, we had our taxi guy, Sak, like, that was our dude, came and picked us up every day. But we weren't there for a month or 3 months. You know, we were there for a week, so that's a little bit different. But I think if you're going to be here for an extended period of time, it's something to take in consideration of getting your own mode of transportation. Just a thought. Which development is by Lee Issa? You're talking about it's Richmond. Hold on, let me see if I can find the article. Yeah, that is. I don't think they're calling it Richmond Estate. Let's see here. All right, this is looks like a YouTube. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. This is like one of these AI YouTube videos. I wouldn't necessarily. Hold on, is it? No, I'm not going to trust that. Let's see if we can find a news article on it. But it's not called Richmond Estate. It's called something else. Can somebody help me with that? Can anybody look that up? Let me know. Chris DDS says, I'm in the market to buy land with close to beach proximity. These listings are helpful. Oh, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I think so. I've said this before. We have multiple, me and my family have multiple lots at Vista Bella. And I would, so let's bring up the map. Why is this taking so long to load? So the thing with Vista Bella and why I like it is this looks so weird, but we're gonna make it work. All right, so let's hop over to the map again. Not what I meant. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here's the map of Jamaica. It's much bigger. So let's go.
This is downtown Negril. This is the Negril roundabout. And then we're moving east along Negril. And then this is the aqueducts, which we were seeing earlier, like pretty much almost dead center downtown Negril. And this is what I mean, like aqueducts, you say you live in any one of these, and it's not a huge property either. You say you live in any one of these units, you kind of go out here out of the security, and this is a hill, and then Scotiabank is here, Burger King, Popeyes. You can grab a taxi, you can grab a route taxi, you can go West End because the West End drop off is right there. Or if you need to go to Lucy, you can go all the way to Lucy. So very centrally located, and it's in terms of it being like a transportation hub, so to speak. Whereas if you go up to Point Village, or even, all right, so even Point Village, right? Let's go. Let's see if I'm looking at this right. That's hedonism. Point Village. Okay, so say you live here in Point Village. To get to the main road, you have to. I mean, and this is probably one of the I don't even know if this is an apartment. Let's say that's an apartment, right? This is like one of the closest apartments to the entrance. You'd have to walk all the way here. Walk all the way down here. I won't say that's a mile, but that's like that's a long walk to get to the road to get a route taxi. And Little Bay is not as bad, but if you live at one of I mean, these units wouldn't be so bad. These are like the newer ones here. Like this is the entrance right here. That would be that's fine. But say you live here, oh my gosh, you have to walk all the way here, then walk all the way here, and then you get out and you get a route taxi, like super far. So that's what I'm saying. Like it would be, if you're going to be here for a long time, it would just be good to have a car. Or you can do what I said, and then find your taxi guy and just go with him every day, anytime you need to go somewhere. But like I said, aqueducts, you're in it. All right, let's move over to Vista Bella Negril Estate. Let me make sure I'm in the right. Yeah, this is it. All right, so this is Vista Bella, and so this is Negril Estate right here, right in the middle. This is Vista Bella, and the Vista Bella property actually horseshoes all the way around Negril Estate. And the thing I like about Vista Bella, a couple of things. Very wide roads, has sidewalks, of course, like all these developments have, but Vista Bella, their electricity is underground. With the weather and storms getting more intensified, this is a huge advantage. And a lot of developments don't have that. And why this is important is because when you're getting 100-mile-an-hour hurricane winds, the wires kissing, poles going down, electricity, you could be out for many days, right? We saw in Beryl, people were out for over a month, some people a couple of months, depending on where you were in the island. Of course, if you're going to be moving here, and my presumption is perhaps you're part of the diaspora, you're at or close to retirement, you're more than likely going to want to maintain your lifestyle, and you're going to want to continue to have your creature comforts, right? And you wouldn't necessarily want a storm or inclement weather to disrupt that. So having a generator is very, very important. Having backup water is very, very important. I would say it is just essential. Like it's just basic things that you should have if you're going to be moving here. I would say not everybody has it. Most of Jamaica doesn't have this and lives without it. And you'll be fine. It's just like, again, if you just want to, when we do have hurricanes, if you just want to maintain that level of comfort throughout it, it's kind of good to have that. So anyway, with Vista Bella, I'm not saying electricity can't go out, but the likelihood of it going out is just much lower than other places. Even with that, I would still get a generator for my home, and I would still have my own backup water tank.
no matter what. You want to be self-sufficient in those types of situations. So those are a couple of aspects of why I like Vista Bella. The other thing is, this is an old map. I don't know why it's showing this, but as you horseshoe around, because it doesn't even have the new gas station. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Yeah, I'm looking. This is just an old map. Let me see if I can find a new map. 1 second. Let's see if this works. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, this is much faster. Okay, yeah, this is a new map. Okay, so this is the gas station, not the newest, but this is the gas station right here on Nampro Road. And the other thing is, this is 19 acres of commercial real estate, and as far as I understand, this will be the largest commercial real estate in Jamaica when it's fully developed. My point is the development has a future, and that's what I like about it. That's what I really like about it. And to your point, Chris DDS, about buying off the beach, not buying a place off the beach and building your home. I think what's been planned is I always forget this word. The Bay community center. What did they just build in St. Thomas? I always forget this word. But anyway, they're doing that here in downtown Negril. So I don't know where exactly it is, but let's just say it's in this area. These are all government lands along here. And this is going to be great proximity to all that, right? And what I'm imagining is that there be a way to, like, or say lifestyle wise, you can live here. You're like not even 10 minutes from the beach as you go like downtown Negril, park here in what is now the Negril Community Center, and then go to the beach. And we've looked at the plans. I don't think I have it still here saved. We looked at the plans for the Negril Beach Park, which is supposed to emulate Harmony Park in Montego Bay, which is a beautiful park. Let me see if I still have those pictures by any chance. Don't. I wanted to show the beach park, what the plans were for the beach park, but I don't think I have them. But anyway, I would imagine like that will become a thing. That would be very, very easily become a thing. So I think your head is in the right space, Chris, and thinks it's a smart way of thinking. What's going on, Alfonso? Thanks for joining. Donna Bryce says that is what drew some hotel workers to Princess, on property housing for employees. Yeah, it's huge sell, huge sell. Huge sell. Eric says, it seems as though beach access and ocean views easily can add $500 to $600 per month for long-term stays, which is compared to buying land with the same access. I mean, I'm not sure if I understand that. It seems as though beach access is $500 per month. I mean, yeah, I'll answer as best as I understand it. Yeah, yes, you're going to be paying a premium for living, renting, buying on the beach. Like no question. I'm not sure if those rates are accurate, but you're going to be paying more. No matter what. It's just prime location. Sean says, does Mora only focus on the region surrounding Negril or other regions? I mean, she does do real estate deals all over the island. That I know that she does for sure, but her expertise is Southwest. Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Negril. White House, that's like kind of her baby. Jamaica says, for $1,000 to be on the beach, Negril would have to be built up. My reason is why on the beach with the increase in hurricane and climate change, the wise man like me has built on a rock. Fair enough. Now, this is in Richmond Estates with Mr. Issa. Yes, that's correct. Norma Davis says, hi, Throp. I heard that Kevin Fitz is doing a development in Negril. Can you comment? Who told you that? Let's just say I haven't been given permission to comment, so I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Chris says, and I see a golf course nearby. Yes, Negril Hills Golf Course is like right there, not even 10 minutes away. Bing says, hi, Throp. I just joined the chat by the headline South Coast is heating up. I'm in the middle of building a villa in White House, Westmoreland. What's the views on the development in White House? I think, well, I mean, that area is going to be good because of the highway, you know, and it's also like naturally beautiful, really, really beautiful, like by the water. I mean, that whole coastline. I did my birthday there a couple of years ago, but that back in the day, that used to be my dad's spot for him and his friends to go hang out. Like, just so lovely, 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 lovely. But the one thing with White House is like there's I always say this, and people who are from White House always get mad at me, but they say it's true. There's nothing to do there. You know, there's nothing to do there. And, you know, people say there's nothing to do in the grill. So imagine that, you know. So that's one thing. But I think it's one of these areas that you're getting in early, and it's also that you're kind of in between like two good places. Like Treasure Beach is kind of right there. Negril is kind of right there, you know, like, you know, less than I would say Negril is about an hour to get to. Treasure Beach is probably under an hour to get to from there. So yeah, I think it's just a place that you're just getting in early, which is not a bad thing at all. So Lee, this place is called Cove View. Let's see if we can find that. I think we got it. Wait, hold on. Is this it? This looks like it. Hold on. We'll look at it together. We'll figure it out together. Cove View Estates, now selling. Where is this located? No, this looks like, I don't know. This might be something different. Yeah, this might be something different. Yeah, this is in St. Anne. That's not it. Sorry. All right, we'll try to find that out later. Cascade, that's what it is. Just some quick research regarding Lee Issa's upcoming development. It's the Cascade Norman Valley Boulevard. That's right. All right, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, that's what it's called. And thank you, Jamaica Urban Center. That's the word that I'm looking for. Negril Urban Center. And from what I've been told, it's 40 acres. 40 acres downtown Negril in that area that I showed you guys. All right, I found it. Let's see.
Some reason, I don't think this is the one I was thinking about. Oh, you guys aren't seeing what I'm saying. Issa Homes, Cascade Residence. No, yes. So yes, this is, and this is not Lee. It's, I believe this is his son. Let's see if we go to Instagram. So this is one, but this is not the one I was thinking of. This is luxury. The one I was thinking about was more of traditional residential developments. But yes, this is coming to Negril. It's on North Manley Boulevard. There's another one. If you can, nobody can find it. We got to figure this out before the stream ends. We're getting closer there. We're getting closer. Jermaine, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Good to have you on. Jim says, Throp, two things. What's the price for the beachfront house, and what Paris is best to buy in beachfront house? I mean, both of those, my answer to both of those questions are, it depends, right? It depends on what you're looking for and which Paris to buy. I think a lot has to be taken into consideration in respect to like where you are along your personal journey. Like, are you coming here to retire? Are you a young person that is not going to be moving here in 10 years from now and just wants to come for a vacation? Do you have the runway to take a couple of years to build? Are you looking for something like right now? All these questions are to be considered. The answer to these questions are to be considered. And I think it's like really, really important. So I don't want to give you a blanket answer as far as where you should invest. We're going to get into, promise, we're getting into Treasure Beach very, very shortly, South Coast, very, very shortly. And so you can take what I say with a grain of salt. Dawn says, I want something in St. Elizabeth as far away from the beach as possible. Who can I talk to? As far away from the beach as possible? Nothing to do with, that's what I'm looking for. I've had too much to do in America. Okay, then maybe White House is what you're looking for. But even in Treasure Beach, what I realized is this, like, Treasure. Oh, we're gonna get. Let me just wrap up these comments, and we'll get into Treasure Beach. Derek, I've noticed that the Deep West End headed towards West Ender, that the roads are being improved. Was wondering if that was maybe due to any new developments or construction coming. Not that I know of. No, there's no. I don't know of any developments, but yeah, they redid that road. That road was horrific. Now it's beautiful. I can show you exactly what we're talking about here. Let's see. So, Derek, good question. So we're downtown Negril. This is the roundabout here. We're going west and west. Keep going west past Rick's Cafe and past Murphy's. Great restaurant, by the way. Put that on your list if you're coming to Negril. Murphy's. Curry fish is amazing. Lobster is amazing. Everything Curry Gold. Curry Gold is amazing. Great food. Top. Anyway, now we're splitting off here and we're going into Deep West End. And this is the cliffs here. And where did you say? I just like lost my train of thought completely. Oh, West Ender. Okay, so we're going deep West End. Okay, we're coming this way, past Wild Coffee, Tinglays, Ripple. This is West Ender right here. And so this road, like as soon as like this turn what you made here was like horrific, terrible. So they redid it coming all the way down. And it's so great. And it's just great for this entire community. And anybody, if you're going West End anyway, Deep West End. But unfortunately, it ends like, where would I say? Like right before Tinglays. Like it probably, no, way before. It probably ends right here. The new road, unfortunately, but still appreciated. Basically from here to here is like brand brand new, nicely done paved road. Would love if it went all the way around, but here we can get. And again, I don't know of any new developments that are going on back there that would have inspired that to be done. Jeff, what's going on? Thanks for joining the party. Late, early, don't matter. You're here. Chris says, the more I think of the aqueducts, it seems pretty nice too. Jermaine, sorry for spelling your name wrong. That's fine, no problem. Jamaica says, what about the upcoming development in Paradise, just outside of South Lamar? Paradise. You're not talking about, are you talking about Little Bay? No, that's before South. Oh, you're talking about I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one. I haven't heard anything else on it. The one with the Jamaican architect who did it, the Jewish Jamaican architect. Yeah. I'm not sure. I was actually considering going there, visiting there for Throp-X, because so we'll get into it. Yeah. So we're going to South Coast for Throp-X this year. Like, it's done deal. And I was considering going there to visit because it's on the way to Treasure Beach and on the way to going to South Coast. But I think they're just too early stage for what I would say I would be comfortable to bringing everybody who's attending Throp-X. I think it's just too early. But seems like a very, very, very beautiful project. Very beautiful project. As someone who knows St. Elizabeth well, you guys have a convo. Jamaica says, only issue with Deep West End is no pipe water. If I'm right, yes, Deep West End. That's right. But supposedly that is changing relatively soon. When I say relatively soon, we're talking about 2 to 3 years. But something to take in consideration. So, all right, let's move into Treasure Beach, South Coast. Sorry to take so long to get into the entitled subject matter here, but it all matters. It all fits into the same pot of soup here, and it's also like a good opportunity for me to talk about Throp-X. So last week I had put out to you guys, like, Throp-X, should we go north to Montego Bay or should we go South Coast, Treasure Beach, that sort of thing. I don't think everybody who had chimed in had said South Coast, Treasure Beach. And so I don't know what you want to call me, the good event promoter that I am, or whatever you want to call me, or cap or title that you want to give me for this. I picked up the phone after that and I started making some phone calls and talked to some really awesome people, particularly in Treasure Beach. And they were like, hey, when can you come to Treasure Beach? And I was like, I can be there Thursday. And then I talked to another person. They were like, hey, can you come on Wednesday? Because I have to do this. And so anyway, ended up going there Wednesday, spent a couple of days in Treasure Beach. And you may or may not know, Treasure Beach is like my second home, not just for me, but for my family. Like, this is like our go-to place ever since we were kids. Like, my dad used to take us there. I can't even remember. I mean, I must have been like 8, 9, 10. I don't know, something around there, going to Jake's and having their fruit punches there, like right on the water. And this has been our place to go to when we need to get away from Negril, when we're feeling overwhelmed with our responsibilities in running our businesses. And we go there as a family all the time. And that's the way I've always looked at it, as a place of like to kind of like reset and be in solitude if we need to. A place that I've done read lots of books there, great journaling, great just brainstorming amongst myself, my brothers. Special place to me. And this is the first time like I went there with really a business mindset and really looking at it from a developer's eye. I was looking at it from the perspective of you all, this community, the subscribers, and putting myself in your shoes and what you would be looking for as far as opportunity there. And, you know, it was such an interesting place
to look at it from that perspective. And I went in places and down roads that like I've either ran past or I drove past in Treasure Beach and I just never went down there. And, you know, and then we went all the way up into the hills, into the mountains, to roads that I just like, oh, this is still Treasure Beach. Yes, this is still Treasure Beach. And I spent 2 days just driving around. And luckily, like over the years, we built like very good relationships with a bunch of the stakeholders there. And they took time out of their day to show me all of these developments around Treasure Beach, some small, some large. Somebody asked me, did I have an opportunity to visit Treasure Bay Estates? Yes, that was actually one of the main reasons that I was called there, is to go and visit there. And for those who are on Patreon, you'll see the drive-through. I'm going to put that up. I'll try to get it up today, as a matter of fact. But you guys are going to see the raw drive-through of Treasure Bay Estates. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very nicely done. Very unique business model. We're going to talk about that in a second. And it just gave me I have so much confidence in this development, and I love the way that it's being done. And I also, the thing about Treasure Beach in general is like, there is this, it's the strongest sense of community that I've seen in Jamaica. And Jamaica has some pretty strong communities. And it's like, it's the familial part to it, but then also it's like the business community, like everybody is on one page and they are so about Treasure Beach first. And I was like, man, this is like really, really, really awesome. And I spoke to a bunch of them individually. They're all on the same page. Some of them collectively, they're all on the same page. And they really, truly want what is best for Treasure Beach. Another element of our conversation that I thought was very, very fair, and I think needs to be at the forefront of everything that we're doing, particularly in this community in which I have the most control over, so to speak, is that they do not want any big development. And one thing that they have always been saying is they do not want all-inclusives. And I agree. And I'm not one of these all-inclusive bashers. Like, I'm not that person. I think all-inclusives are great for Jamaica. And I think they do, they have had a real positive impact on Jamaica and Jamaican tourism. So I'm pro all-inclusive in that sense. However, there is appropriate places for all-inclusive to be. And I agree with them. I don't think Treasure Beach is it. And you're going to ruin that community feeling, I believe, and I agree with the folks who are there, by bringing in all-inclusives, our large-scale hotels. You want to keep this place low density, you know, and you don't want disruptors of that nature coming in, and people who are just coming in to just get a return on investment and just suck the resources out of this community, because it's such a beautiful community and they are like very much together and one for one, all for one situation. And you feel that, and it would be a shame to lose even an inkling of that, you know, and that should not be disturbed. And everybody there, they understands that development needs to happen, but it needs to be controlled and it needs to be with those parameters in mind. And I would say like that's the spirit in which Throp-X is coming to Treasure Beach. And we are going to be taking a day there. So I want to be also clear on that. So the real estate tour this year at Throp-X is 2 days. So it's going to be Wednesday, Negril. So we're still going to do a regular Negril. We're not going to go as long as we've done in the past, because we know these real estate tours can take a lot out of you, and we want everybody to get enough rest, get food, hydrate, all that sort of thing. And then the Thursday, we're going to make our way to the South Coast. And there's a lot to see. There's a lot to see, but it's also one of those things that I even told all the folks, the stakeholders that I've been meeting with, is that, you know, we don't want this to be a rush thing. And my goal is to have all the folks who come on this tour with us is to fall in love with Treasure Beach, just like I have. And it won't be hard. It won't be hard. Treasure Beach is going to do what Treasure Beach does without question. But at the same time, I don't want this thing to be something that we rush through. So it's something that I'm very, very excited to share with you. You know, a place that is very, very special to me and my family, and to be working with the stakeholders that I've reached out to. And there's many other stakeholders that I plan on meeting with that are on my list that I just haven't had the time. I'm going to be spending a lot more time in Treasure Beach in terms of trips, going back and forth between Negril and making sure that we get this tour right, and that we are able to position and present these opportunities in a way that hopefully aligns with a lot of your goals and what you're trying to achieve. But there's also what I recognize in this trip is like there is so much to see. There's so much to see in Treasure Beach, and there's a lot happening there, you know. And I was like, man, there's a lot more happening here than I had expected, and there's a lot more to come. Speaking with these folks, there's a lot of, what would I say, inside information on and things that I can't necessarily say publicly here on this live stream, because it's not like signed off and guaranteed. But there's just so much coming. And on the tour, like, I won't say these things. You know, those folks who have a vested interest in Treasure Beach, and they have a vested interest in having Treasure Beach do well, they will tell you about it and their perspective. And one thing that I've heard from several people there is that they've seen more activity in the last 3 years in Treasure Beach than they've seen in the last 30. Their quote, not mine. And I felt the momentum, and mind you, we're in the slow season in tourism, and very, very slow in Treasure Beach as well. And it was slow, don't get me wrong, but the excitement, anticipation by everybody is still steadfast. It's still steadfast, because I believe like they have been living there for 10, 20, 30, their whole lives, right? And they're seeing all this activity and all this interest like they've never seen before. So of course they're going to be excited about this stuff. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to show you guys. Like, I really, 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 really am. And Throp-X, this is going to be the best Throp-X ever. Like, there's no doubt in my head. Like, from the speakers that we're getting right now, the partners that are reaching out to me that I can't announce that we're at the end of closing deals with, you know, but they've been very, very, very excellent, strong conversations that you're going to hear about in the next weeks to come. The technology that we're using this year that I'm hoping to announce, not this week, next week, more than likely, that we're going to be using as a communication and information tool. Never have seen it before at any conference in Jamaica. And I've seen it at I got this from YouTube conferences that I've gone to in the past, but I was just not in a position to be able to afford it. Now, you know, we're growing as a company, we're growing as an event space, and it's gonna be amazing, hands down. Best Throp-X coming up, without question, and very, very, very exciting. So I'm excited to get you all to Treasure Beach. I got some questions here. Let me start going through it. And Smith says, how far is Treasure Beach from Negril? It's about an hour and a half drive, I'd say. So we're going to leave it. I want to leave at 8 o'clock. I want to leave at 8 o'clock. I know that's tight, you know, because we're probably going to have an early breakfast, but I think we really, really need to leave at 8 o'clock and be able to take our time. And also, like, an important part about the tour is the drive. I think it's very, very important that, especially when we get into St. Elizabeth and we get into Black River, and then we get into Treasure Beach area. I mean, learning about the topography and learning about the history as we move along, I think is very, very important. It's just going to build context, and it's going to build your Jamaica education as we go through this tour. How can you get in touch with me? You can email me, throp@thropmedia.com. I'll just throw it in there. And the thing too that I really, really, really like about Treasure Beach is there is something for everybody. There is something for everybody. I visited 25 excuse me, I visited 25 acre piece of land right on the hill as you're coming down, going into Treasure Beach. If you're a developer, perfect for you. There is Treasure Bay Estates as well, looking for turnkey. You don't want to, you don't want the headache of trying to buy the land, build your house, find this and find like Treasure Bay. You're looking to maybe just looking to vacation. The thing too that I was very transparent about with the stakeholders, like this also is a tourism play, and maybe Treasure Beach isn't for you, right? But I guarantee if it's your first time going to Treasure Beach, or maybe you haven't been in 20 years, you're going to be going back more frequently, and you're going to be staying at these folks' places because it is that special of a place. I guarantee it. If you want to, going on with my examples of this being for everybody, if you're looking for a fixer-upper and you want to buy a home, you want to buy a villa, you want to refurbish, I call Treasure Beach like it's the villa mecca of Jamaica. I don't think there's any question about that. There are so many very, very beautiful villas. And that's the other thing. I want to go into partner with some of these villas to even just take a walk through. They may not be for sale. They're actually probably not for sale. But I want you to see the potential of what you can do, whether it's you want to get into the Airbnb game or you want to retire on the beach, or for the person who says they want to stay far away from the beach as possible. You can buy a lot up on the mountains. I mean, spectacular gore. And we were on there a day that wasn't so clear. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful views from the tops of these, not even the tops, but up these hills, up these mountains. If you want to stay away from the beach and you just want to look at it and you just love sunsets, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous views. And that's like the beauty of Treasure Beach. Like being right on the beach, on the water is beautiful, but then also as you scale up the mountain, there were just so many possibilities, so many opportunities there. So a lot for so many people, for different types of people and different types of folks looking for different types of investment opportunities, retirement opportunities, building your dream home opportunities. And I can't wait for you guys to kind of see like how it's set up and how these villas, how come there's so many villas. There's a villa that we visited that is for sale, literally right on the beach. We didn't go inside. The owner wasn't there, but it's just like, oh my gosh, they were like, literally is something for everybody here. And so now my job is like making the hard decisions of deciding where we go on the day, because our time is so limited. They even invited us, hey, like you guys should stay over, but we can't do that. We can't do that. I can't take you all from Negril and put you all up in another hotel. It's like logistically, it's just a nightmare. I wish we could. Won't be able to do it. But at least we'll be able to spend a few hours there and a few, for you guys to check it out and maybe inspire you to kind of come back and do further due diligence and maybe buy a home, maybe buy a piece of land, or maybe just stay there for a long weekend. And I think it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This kind of gave me, I was already excited for Throp-X this year, but like this kind of just gave me like an extra super boost in going there, driving around, meeting with these folks. It just really is just like a beautiful, beautiful partnership that I'm excited for you guys to see. So yeah, let's get into some questions here. Sean says, make it 7:45 a.m. so that we can actually leave at 8 a.m. Okay, fair enough. The foreign speculator says South Coast tour sounds awesome. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Dawn says, I'm from Ochi and I'm from Ochi and it's overbuilt. That is why I've been looking at Treasure Beach. It's not overdeveloped and I don't want beach property. Gotcha. Mosaic Travel says, that sounds beautiful. I would love to check out the area for the community feel. It's important. Agreed. Alfonso says, no, now is the perfect time to buy land or homes in Westmoreland before the proper infrastructure is put in place. The airport that's coming, the urban center and road, grab what you can if you can. There's an element of that with Treasure Beach as well, because they're doing the highway I don't know exactly where it is, but everybody kept telling me about it. It's like they're going to be skipping Spur Tree Hill. If there's just somebody who knows more than I do that can chime in on that, but that's like a big thing that's coming. One question that I meant to ask is like, how long, like what, what is that going to cut the trip, the time down to get to like Kingston? Like, what does that mean for that journey? CK says, I too am interested in South Coast. Awesome. What's your take on gated versus standalone? It depends where. Like, so for example, like we're going to be visiting a gated community in Treasure Beach, but like Treasure Beach is also like, you don't need you don't necessarily need a gated community. It's not, I'm going to be careful here. Like if you move to Negril, like I understand why you're going to gated community, and I think it's a good idea. In Treasure Beach, everybody that I talk to, like nobody locks their doors. That's just the type of community it is. Like nobody locks their doors. Like think about that. Like as people say, Jamaica is so dangerous and this and that. Like everywhere we're going, like nobody's taking out keys. Everybody just pushing the door and going inside. And they're like, see, I was like, oh, this is crazy. But it's awesome. It's like beautiful. You don't think twice about it. Everybody knows everybody. Every time you're driving anybody, everybody's just kind of just honking their horn, acknowledging, bigging up the next person. Like it's just constantly like that. So depends where I would say, but I mean, generally my answer is like, go gated community, especially like if you've been away for a while. But a place like Treasure Beach, my dream is to like buy a piece of land there and build a villa. That's how much I love Treasure Beach. Like that is like a real goal of mine. And you'll see what, like for those who are coming on the trip, like you'll see how beautiful and gorgeous these villas are. And they're just so well done, so well located. And it's just, it just complements the community of Treasure Beach, generally speaking, like all of these villas, like so beautiful. And it's also like one of those places where if you especially for those people we've been talking about, like, how much does it cost to rent a place on the beach and buy a place on the beach? It's like Treasure Beach, you don't feel like you're missing anything, Yeah, you don't feel like you're missing anything if you're not on the beach, because like the community is just so nice and beautiful. And then it's just right there. If you want to go to the beach, it's right there. Like even if I wouldn't mind having a villa I love the beach, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind having a villa on the hill with a view. This is like one of the places that we looked at, just looking over the entirety of Treasure Beach. So, like I said, there's just something for everybody there. That's what I love about this place. And and you can go all over the place with the price ranges. Very, very excited. All right, let's keep rolling here. Dawn says, I'm looking to buy and build. I have a very specific floor plan. That's why I want the lot up on the mountains. Yeah, got a lot of that in Treasure Beach. Tons of opportunity to be in the mountains. But the mountain communities are hard to build properties. Maybe, but they're also it's doable. It's very, very doable. And you don't worry about that. You're the homeowner, right? You leave that to the engineer and you pick a good team. The feeling in the mountains does it for me. Yeah, I really like the mountains. Beach is great. I don't need to be on the beach, but like seeing the beach and waking up to the view of the beach, and I'm telling you, that view is amazing. Like if you've been to Treasure Beach, like coming down that hill, looking over the entirety of Treasure Beach, I don't even call it a hill, it's a mountain. I've ran up it several times. The thing is a beast. But going down that is just like, it just sets the tone. It sets the tone for your vacation, your long-term stay. Just can't wait. Clive Thompson says, hey Throp, I watched a great YouTube film which covered Treasure Beach and the South Coast. It opened up my eyes again. I was there 10 years ago, but I couldn't touch Negril at the time. I gotcha. I'd love to see that one. Is that the one that the tourist board did recently? Let me know. If it is, I've seen. I haven't finished watching it. Chris says, Throp, that's Malvern, a Top Hill area, lived there and went to Monroe College. That's the area I mentioned to Dawn. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that. Chris Charles says Treasure Beach is Villa Mecca. There we go. The liquor creep. I don't believe you're being fully transparent on what's happening in Jamaica. Talk to me. What am I not being transparent about, or what do I know that I'm not saying? Let me know. Dawn says, I'm not interested in a gated community. I'm looking for community. I like that. I don't want to be shutting myself off from the Jamaican people. Going to the supermarket in America is dangerous. You may not make it home. So I think that's a great, great question. Not question, great statement. Because when I visited Treasure Bay and I met with the developer, his whole thing, he's like, he does not want to be exclusive. And what he means is like, he wants this to be an integrated community with the community. And he's from the community, born and raised, grown in Treasure Beach. And this is his family's land that was used for life, I believe. Yeah, there was livestock. We saw many goats. But now he's opening it up and converting it into a development. So I will say that I told him this straight up, like the passion that he has for this development and for his community is unlike any other that I have had with conversation that I've had with other developers. And this is not to put them down or anything like that. It's just like, there's just no the developer that I've talked to and had on my channel that was from the area and from the community, and that their family owned the land and now they were deciding to develop it. And so that you could tell and feel the passion in the developer's voice. And when he was showing me around, I should say, and how proud he was of Treasure Beach, how proud he was of his development. And he kept emphasizing the importance of not being an exclusive development in terms of, we're here and you're there. Like, no. He's like, we have to make this so it's integrated and it is very much a part of the Treasure Beach community. And I know that it will be. And there are some developments, even in Negril, where that development is the notion, the attitude, the vibe is like, we're up here and everybody else is down here. I was like, all right, whatever, if you think so. And with him and this development, it is definitely not that. And for those coming, and he's definitely going to come on the pod. I promise he's going to come on the pod. Like, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll feel it right away. And just more excited to be doing this. So excited to be working with him in that regard. Amy Smith says, Throp, how far is Treasure Beach away from the airport? So I believe it's 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken, from 2 hours from the Montego Bay Airport. That's what I was told. Liquor Creep, I believe Liquor Creep said, I believe there is more insidious reason why all the investment is happening, and for some reason I don't see you content creators talking candidly about it. Like, you're speaking in so generally, like, what are you believe there are insidious reasons? What are those insidious reasons, and who's driving those insidious reasons? Like, let's be specific. Let me know. Community in Jamaica is very important to me. Yes, to me as well, definitely. Chris Shaw says 18 of 191 viewers have hit the like button. Oh, that's it. Yo, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Get the likes up. Yeah. So, thank everybody for their comments. So, that's kind of what's going on the South Coast for Throp-X this year, and I think it's going to be an education for everybody. I think it's going to really, especially it being the second day of the real estate tour, I think it's going to put so much of what you learn during the conference in context. And And it's just going to be, and I always try every year, I try to figure this out. Like, how do I make it so it's not so much of drinking from a fire hose in terms of the amount of value and information that you're getting during Throp-X, but it's just going to be one of those things. It's just going to be one of those things where it's going to be jam packed with value. And just my goal every year is to over deliver as much as humanly possible. And we are going to knock it out the park this year. I know we are. And this is just a huge cherry on top in going to Treasure Beach. And I'm so happy that we're doing, not that there's anything wrong with Montego Bay or anything like that, but this just seems right. It seems that timing is correct with everything that we're doing. And I appreciate all of your input on helping to make that decision. And that was the impetus for me to get there last week. And I don't know if I would have gone there if I if I didn't ask you guys, because that made me make a phone call, like the domino effect of just like talking to you all on the Sunday live stream, asking questions, feedback, and then taking action the next day. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And like now we're here. I'm like, hey, confirm, we're doing it. So that's how quickly things can change. And I'm excited that we're doing this and happy that we're so nimble that we're able to do it. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And, and I don't want it to take away from the shine of Negril. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm a Negril person and Negril will always be my priority. But it's again, I think it's good. It's coming on the second day because you're going to doing the Negril real estate tour. It's just going to put everything in context. And I think you guys are going to have some very hard decisions to make, very, very hard decisions to make in terms of where you're going to do this, how you're going to do this, where you're going to put your resources. And that's good, right? That's good to be in that position, and it's going to be a good thing, and I'm doing my best to arm you with as much relative information and knowledge so that you can make the best decision that you can for yourself and for your family. And we're gonna do that in a big way this year. We're gonna do that in a huge way this year. All right. I feel like I'm not going anywhere yet, but I feel like there's more stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, before I forget, just remember, let me switch this to autofocus. Is that better? Okay, there we go. So don't forget, I just want to remind everybody, we are doing Throp-X Connect, New York City Connect on Saturday, September 6th at 12 p.m. If you're interested, sign up below, fill out the form. Let's see if we got anybody there. I'm going to try to, I should have put it in the chat here. I'm going to do that in a second. So if you're interested in coming, if you want to come to the meetup, just fill out the registration form below, and then I will get out the information to you. How do I share this? Hold on one second. Here we go. There you go. Just fill out that Google form, and I will. I'll send it out to you. So we'll send it out this week. But even if you're remotely interested, just fill out the form, and it'll give you an option of how interested you are, and you still get the information if you're just thinking about it, just so we can get numbers. It's going to be a limited amount of people. I don't want this thing to be like a few hundred people, which it can easily turn into, and it's going to be just too much to manage. All right, let's keep rolling here. Chris says it's a film produced by Jamaican Tourist Board, brilliant film, 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see Treasure Beach again. Awesome. Okay, that's the one. All right, I can't wait to actually finish watching it then. Thank you for that, Clive. CK says, I'm trying to make Throp-X, seeing how my schedule lines up. Definitely would love to have you. I think it's going to be just so worth it. Absolutely worth it this year. You're going to get far more than what you paid for. And especially if you end up investing in one of these opportunities that we're presenting, because it is, I think a lot of this stuff is just going to go to the moon. Really, really, really. Like I firmly believe that. Nothing guaranteed, but it's looking great. Mark says, love your enthusiasm, Throp. Hoping one day to make Throp-X. Would love to have you. Would love to have you. Hopefully one of these days you'll be there. Dawn says, insidiousness everywhere. Pick your country because there are wicked people in power everywhere. The liquor creep, noticing that common born and raised Jamaican will have no influence on the direction of Jamaican future. As a foreigner who has Jamaican roots, don't want to large foreign influence. I believe there are many Jamaican born people in this group. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think the whole point of, I think one of the points of, not the whole point, but one of the main points of this channel, and I said this earlier, and the inspirations for this channel is to open up the minds, especially of the diaspora more than anything else, because I have been here on the ground and I've been seeing the changes. I've been seeing the interest, much like some of the folks were saying in St. Elizabeth, that they have seen more activity and forward movement in Treasure Beach in the last 3 years than they've seen in the last 30 years. And it was a similar and has been a similar situation for me in Negril. And then I'm seeing what's happening here on the ground. And then I'm still hearing on social media and that Jamaica is terrible. Jamaica is dangerous. I would never move to Jamaica. I would never invest in Jamaica. And I'm like, what? And these are all mostly Jamaicans saying this. And I'm just like, you guys have no idea what's happening here. You have no clue what is going on. And I didn't want you to miss out on the opportunity. And so I was like, I have to tell you what's happening. I gotta, you have it all wrong. I promise you have it all wrong, because there are so many people who are not Jamaican, so many companies that are not Jamaican who are seeing, reading, listening to the same news, same headlines that you are, but they are putting in millions and sometimes even billions of US dollars into this country and investing here. And I'm just like, don't let this ship sail. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Don't allow the headlines to cloud your judgment or to, and I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but it's a lot of it is just blown out of proportion. And then you're seeing that, but then you're missing out on the really, really good stuff that is happening. And so I'm trying to bring more of a balanced approach. I'm trying to bring more of what I'm seeing on the ground and what I'm hearing on the ground to you all, so you can have and make a balanced decision and hopefully a more educated decision on whether or not you want to invest here, whether or not you want to move here. And some people, hey, this is not for me, this is not for them. No problem, no problem. But I would like to at least present the information that I have and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing to you all. And then you can make a decision for yourself. And maybe Jamaica is not your cup of tea, and maybe you want to go to a Tulum or to Medellin or something like that. And that's cool. You know, I say go where makes you happy, go where you get true fulfillment in life and that you can feel as if you can reach your full potential, because sometimes we're not born and we don't live in the place that we're supposed to be, that aligns with who we are. And it's a beautiful thing when you do find that place. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I've met so many people from around the world who call and have found Jamaica to be that thing. And I've gone to Japan, I've gone to Thailand, I've gone to all over Europe, where I've met people who are not from there, but have found a place, discovered a place that is in perfect alignment with them. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And hopefully you can find that for yourself in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully I am bringing you information and education that would help you decide whether Jamaica is that place for you or not. All right. Metro Atlanta Real Estate and Mortgage Insights says, Throp, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, how will I choose? It's going to be a hard decision. I promise, like, it's going to be a hard, and I'm glad I'm making it hard for you all. I'm glad I'm going to be making it hard for you all, whether it's Treasure Beach or whether it's Negril. And you'll I think you'll figure it out quicker than you may think, right? Because you're going to get a real sense, especially like there's always one or two people who haven't been back to Jamaica in like 20 years or 15 years who come to Throp-X every single year, which I think is awesome and amazing. I feel so special that they've chosen my investment conference to be the impetus to get you back in Jamaica and back into the game. Like, that is just so freaking awesome. So you'll have those folks, and those are going to be the folks who are going to find it the hardest because they are looking at Jamaica with just brand new eyes, fresh. And that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough call. That's going to be a tough call. And maybe it'll be tough for like somebody like you, Simone, like where you have, I want to say maybe like, I think you've mostly seen Negril, or you've been to Negril a lot, you and your husband, right? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like you've made your mind up on Negril, maybe, right? And like now we're bringing a new player into the game, like one that we haven't seen before. Very, you know, everybody's seen Montego Bay. You have to see Montego Bay because that's where we all fly in, right? But now you're seeing something very, very different. And I'm even going to like, I think the journey is going to be awesome getting there as well, because you're going to be seeing Jamaica as we go along, and you're going to be seeing countryside Jamaica as we go along. So it's going to be hard. All right. Michelle says, great things happening in Jamaica. Love it. Absolutely. Shardine says, some people in the diaspora are ashamed of where they are in life and they refuse to accept that Jamaica is a better option. So I'll agree with half of what you're saying. I won't say, maybe people are ashamed of where they are in life. I think with a lot of people, like they can't, and I've heard this so many times, that they left Jamaica for a better life. And yeah, maybe, you know, they're not doing as good as they would like to be in foreign. And it's not a bed of roses that they thought. And it's a, you know, maybe a little bit more hard and challenging than they may have expected. But now there's just so many great things happening in Jamaica. And I think there are so many ways of making money in Jamaica. And I see it like all the time. And by all different types of people that are doing well in Jamaica, that are hustlers, entrepreneurs, and you know, they don't have the college degrees. They didn't come from the best neighborhoods or best backgrounds, but they're making it work. They're making technology work for themselves. They understand social media. They understand the internet, and they're making a very good living for themselves. And these are not like, I wouldn't necessarily consider them, maybe they're influencers, but like not like these vloggy type people. But they've created a market. They've created an online community for themselves, and they're doing well. They're doing well, and there's just a lot of opportunity in Jamaica to make money in Jamaica. I'm thinking particularly with technology and with the internet, because I've seen it. I've seen it done before. I always get this example of this waitress, I'm not going to say her name, that was working for me at Travelers, and me and my family at Travelers. Young lady, early 20s, and she started an online shop on Etsy selling like these little things that she made. And if you know Etsy, like this is like this, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but like kind of like an arts and crafts website, where if you're like an artist that does like these very acute type of creative stuff, like it's a marketplace for you to sell that thing. And she's selling her thing on there. You know, her thing is like her little art stuff, and was doing well for that for herself. And I believe, I don't know if that's why she stopped working for us, but I knew she was doing very good with her business. And I even told her that she should you know, share her knowledge. I have another guy who's working in the kitchen, and he's doing foreign exchange. I'm not going to say the amount of money that he's making, but he is doing exceptionally well. As far as I know, he doesn't have a college degree. He's not he doesn't have a college. I was going to say he's not a brain surgeon. He's definitely not. But he understood the internet. He understood where his strengths were, his skill, and he told me his whole process of just like going on studying YouTube, study, and he's doing. Except he don't have to work for Travelers. I'm telling you, like that's how well he is doing. And he even told me that he's also educating his colleagues as well in the kitchen and in Travelers on how he's doing what he's doing, but phenomenally, exceptionally well. So my point is, it's like these young people are, and I don't see like that they are like this exception, you know. I just see these young people that are ambitious, wanted to learn, and took advantage of the age and era that we find ourselves in. All right, keep rolling here. Doorbell says, looking forward to seeing the South Coast. Thanks for including it in this year's Throp-X. I can feel your excitement. Appreciate it. Shar Treehouse says, greetings, Throp. From a Trini American, Treasure Beach sounds very diverse and inviting. I arrive in New York City on Thursday. Please send location info. Please look forward. Thanks for exploring all the gems. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Perfect timing. I haven't got my ticket yet to New York, but I will. So I'll probably leave on Thursday or Friday. Maybe we'll be on the same flight. Who knows? You'll land at the same time, I should say. Make sure you fill out the form. Fill out the form. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to get information out to you if you're interested, because I'm not going to post where it's going to be on social media. I just don't want people just showing up that I'm not anticipating, and I just want to be fair to the venue as well. Dawn says, Dawn is them having a different conversation. Dawn says, I'm interested in Treasure Beach. When is Throp-X? Oh, I didn't even put the Throp-X is November 16th to the 22nd. I'll throw that in. You can check it out. Sign up for the mailing list, the newsletter, if you want more information. And then also follow Throp-X on Instagram. We're going to be ramping that up. So you're going to be getting like a lot of up-to-date information as far as we confirm speakers. So we're going to be putting out some speaker confirmations this week, as a matter of fact, that we're excited. So that we're very excited to share. So sign up for the newsletter and you'll see that, and also follow Throp-X and you see that as well. Dawn says, my son would be very interested. Awesome. Justin Z says, plenty of Jamaican YouTubers make videos about why they're leaving Jamaica for whatever reason, whatever floats your boat. There you go. Chris Charles says, I'm a yardie and I feel like we're making a positive difference. You absolutely are, no question. Giova says, Throp, does Delano still have apartment options? I'm not sure. Can't speak to that. Dawn says, it's definitely about what floats your boat. What is in your aim? Choose your choice. Maybe. Ann Smith says, Throp, I'm looking at proximity to food, shopping, restaurants, and walking convenience to getting around without taking a taxi. Negril offers that. I don't know if that convenience is in Treasure Beach. No. You don't have that. Treasure Beach is like, and this is why I love Treasure Beach. It's like it's country. Like I don't know what there's maybe like in like I don't know what's considered downtown Treasure Beach, but like in the area that Treasure Beach, let's say by the beach, let's call that Treasure Beach. I think there are 2 to 3 convenience stores, and there's like one main convenience store, and they have like very strict limited operating hours, and everybody knows what it is. But you'll also find so many, like St. Elizabeth, breadbasket of Jamaica, right? And you'll find a lot of people selling fruits on the side of the road for, I would arguably say the cheapest in the country, and that's super fresh because they probably got it from they cut it from across the street and brought it over type thing. So that's one thing like I really love about Treasure Beach is like you'll always get like the freshest fruits in Jamaica because you are in the parish where it's more than likely being made and grown. You can walk everywhere in Treasure for the most part in like the Treasure Beach area. And I do, like I like to walk, but you're probably going to want a car, you know. You're probably going to want a car. Yeah, I always think like, and it's a good thought experiment, like about even conveniences of that nature. Like I look at like, and this is like going from one extreme to another. Like when I was in Bangkok like a few weeks ago, and the level of convenience is just mind blowing. It's almost like there's almost no other place that I can think of it that's like that. Tokyo may be a close second, where almost anything you need is just like right there. Cause like there's a 7-Eleven like everywhere. And like if you've been to Asia before, like you'll know like 7-Eleven is such a big part of the culture where they just have everything from like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like stuff that you take off the shelf, like drinks, like whatever you need. It's just always there 24 hours a day. Then you have the element of Grab, which is like their Uber Eats, your Uber, your bike if you want to get how to take a moped to get around some places. But like it's so convenient and you get everything like right there like that from your phone, or you just walk down the street and it's right there. A restaurant, you want to have a full dinner for $1.50, you can do that as well. Whereas like Treasure Beach, it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's the opposite. And much slower pace of life there as well. And it's beautiful. I mean, both are beautiful in their own ways. It really, really is. It's just a funny thought experiment. Justin D says, instead coming here, making talking that dude. Metro Atlanta says, lived a few years in Kingston and Portmore in my late 20s, spent many years in visiting Banbury around Thornton, sorry, in Westmoreland. I don't even know where that is, but I want to be able to see the Caribbean Sea when I wake. I don't have to be on the ocean, but I want to see it and get to it fairly quickly when I want to. Treasure Beach is definitely that. I mean, there's just so many options near, close. Hope I'm not losing my Negril people. You know, like that's not my point here. I'm not trying. That's not what I'm trying to do here. And I hope that Negril is not taking strays for all this Treasure Beach talk, but it is what it is. Chartreuse House, I signed up from last weekend. I'll do it again. If you're on there, don't worry about it. If you're talking about Throp-X NYC Connect, I got it. Let me just see. I got it. CKR, I love the country. Same. I'm looking forward to Treasure Beach. It will be my first experience. Awesome. You're going to love it, Shauna. You're going to love it. Dawn says, that's fine by me. I'm a country woman at heart. Throp, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Just shy of off the grid. I like that. Just shy of off the grid. Yes. That'll be Treasure Beach. I like that. Just shy of off the grid. CKR says Treasure Beach reminds me of old school Jamaica, quiet Sundays, etc. That's Treasure Beach. Yes, very good, very well said, everyone. Very well said. Georgina Jarrett says the Treasure Beach has fair infrastructure, hospital, decent road, grocery stores. Closest hospital is Black River. You're looking at about 40 to 45 minutes to Black River, I want to say. Grocery store, yes. You know, you're not looking, don't expect Costco or anything like that. There's no bank in Treasure Beach. That's one thing that came up multiple times in my conversation with the stakeholders. What else would be inconvenient? The restaurants there are the hosts. There's some standalone restaurants. I shouldn't say that, but not a ton of not a crazy amount of restaurants. You know, it's not Montego Bay. It's not Kingston or anything like that, but decent places to go and have great meals. As a matter of fact, roads. The road is a lot better coming into Treasure Beach. They redid it. I think they redid it twice. As a matter of like did one part and then extended another part. More and better roads to be coming. There's a lot of plans for that. Better than it used to be. It definitely, like, especially coming from Negril to Treasure Beach, that's for sure. A lot better. I don't know if everybody remembers, like, when you're almost by Border, if you're going from Treasure Beach back to Negril, like right before you hit Border, there is this like straight road that is almost like Holland bamboo, that is it's almost completely covered by the trees on each side, covering each other. That was the worst road in the entirety of Jamaica. Oh my gosh, the worst. But they fixed that, and it's actually quite nice now. So it's gotten better, is my point. And Smith says, Throp, what attracts people to Negril is you have the convenience to walk to what you want. I find Treasure Beach is more of a family community. Negril, you can be single and enjoy. Yeah, I think that's one of Negril's biggest advantage is I've said this so many times, is your ability to navigate on your own. You have autonomy, you have authority over your time, you have authority over how you move around, when you want to move around. You can wait on somebody, like wait on a taxi driver if you want, or you can just put on your shoes or your flip-flops and then go outside and just walk around. You can walk on the beach, you can walk on the shared user path across the road, you can walk on the West End. And there's a lot of different places that you can go. You can go bar to bar to bar, to hotel, to restaurant, and you can navigate and do Negril as you please. And there is, quite a bit of places, like hundreds of different places that you can go to in Negril. And you're right. I think that is one of the biggest advantages of Negril. Yeah, and Treasure Beach, I can see what you're saying about it being family. And yeah, definitely. Because I guess that's why me and my family go there, because we feel this sense of community with the community in Treasure Beach, but then also it just makes for a great place to be with your family, or if you're with a significant other, for sure. Fairly good infrastructure. Yeah. No banks. No banks. But hopefully, there's so much going on. A bank has to get to Treasure Beach soon. Even one of the folks I was speaking with is like, hey, man, even if you had a bank that was there that was only open 2 days a week, that's going to help. Like, these are the things that like help move along the local economy just so much quicker. Because just think about it. The level of productivity has to be slowed because you need to drive 45 minutes to Black River to do banking. And from what I understand, they only have a Sagicor in Black River. And I'm just like, man, this is like a sin. Like a sin, And there are like all these things that are coming to Treasure Beach. And I'm not sure like what sort of economic or numerical threshold that needs to be crossed in a community for a bank to say, all right, we're coming in. This makes economic sense for us to do this. Or we see it going this way, we want to get in early. And so who knows? Maybe we come to Treasure Beach as an investment group, and we're able to drive that, and we're able to drive that demand. And that would be great for them to have that. I mean, that's going to increase productivity like probably 100-fold in perpetuity, right? Because imagine you can just go to your bank that's 10 minutes away, as opposed to 45 minutes, make your deposits, or maybe even from a loan perspective, you can get information on getting a loan, or your mortgage and servicing it there, that sort of thing. I don't know, but could be annoying. Or you're just used to it because you live there, right? And that's the only way you know. I feel like Treasure Beach has a long way to go, but hopefully soon. I mean, yes, but I don't know. Like, there's part of me that, like, I was even telling the developer of Treasure Bay Estates, like, I was like, I'm like low key jealous, like what's happening there and how quickly things are moving there, where we in Negril, like, things are moving slower than we expected them to move, and they should be moving. Like, for example, like our beach park has been closed for freaking 6 years now, and we've been promised like this thing would be done. Fruit and vegetable, don't get me started. I'm just like going to be frustrating myself talking about these things. The fruit and vegetable market, this is like they're like they start things and then it just like comes to a screeching halt, right? And it's just like very, very, very annoying. This is like one of these things, like I cannot wait till this freaking election is over. Like I honestly can't. So I can, because nobody wants to hear, like when I say nobody, it's like the government on either side, like they're focused on being reelected. So they not, if I say anything about this, it's like one ear at the other. They focus on getting that W on Wednesday. And I understand that. So just got to leave it alone for now. And I can't wait till this election is over so we can get back to business and just focus on moving forward and getting things done. At least for me, getting things done in Negril, because things are getting ridiculous at this point. Anyway, I got a little jealous seeing so many things moving forward in Treasure Beach, and I do think it feels like, at least from what everybody's telling me, like things are going to happen sooner rather than later there. And you never know. Like this is, I was watching the debates, and I'm not trying to go political or anything like that, but like I was watching the debates on whatever day it was with the prime minister and the opposition leader, and I remember Mark Golding saying that Jamaica has been in a phase of austerity for the last 9 years, however many years, for an extended period of time. And we have hit the threshold of now essentially reaping the rewards of being these austerity measures. And now we can focus on growing the economy. And that is like true. Like when you think about it, there were like many economic sacrifices that Jamaica has had and has been going through for many, many years. And as we know, looking at the macroeconomic numbers, it's paying off big time. It's paying off big time. And now from an economic stage, we're about to move into a growth phase. And I say that to say, all being well, all things being equal, there being no sort of global catastrophic things that happen, whether that's weather related, economy related, whatever, war, God forbid, we are and should be moving into a phase of great growth, really, really great growth. And to me, it's like maybe this can happen in parallel, like a Treasure Beach, that is, can happen in parallel, where I'm not going to predict an explosion or anything like that, like an economic explosion, but where things in Jamaica generally like continue to move up, and Treasure Beach just kind of rides that wave, right? And things happen faster and quicker than we've ever seen before. Very possible, very, very possible. Originally, Foxy Lady says, Treasure Beach, my haven, island paradise. Yes, great place. Ann Smith, is there a Chamber of Commerce in Treasure Beach? I am not sure. I know they have a Jamaican Hotel and Tourism Association chapter. I know that, but I'm not sure about a Chamber of Commerce. I don't see why not, but I just don't know of it. Original Foxy Lady says, sunsets at Treasure Beach is enchanting. Negril is nice too. Yeah, Treasure Beach sunsets are awesome. I'm not going to say which is better. Jewel Voss says, how far from Negril Treasure Beach? About an hour and a half. Somebody, original Foxy Lady says 110 kilometers. All right, that is Treasure Beach. All right, going to take a quick break here.
Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Throp-X. This is my annual Jamaica investment conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is the real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move to Jamaica. For more information, please visit Throp-X.com and join our mailing list.
Hey there, Throp here. I wanted to interrupt just for a minute to tell you about my family's hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. We are a 60-room Jamaican-owned and operated hotel located on the world-famous 7-mile white sand beach of Negril, Jamaica. My father started this property back in '94, and myself and my brothers Winfield and Wingate took over in 2011 after my father retired. Recently, we've made some upgrades to the property, particularly to our rooms. They've been redesigned and reimagined with comfort and style at the forefront. The textures, the light, the layout, each space was designed with intention, balancing modern touches with the familiar spirit of travelers. Our deluxe rooms and suites, which you are seeing on your screen now, have gone through an incredible transformation. We now have 2-bedroom suites available for your accommodations next time you're in Negril. We're especially proud of our gym. It's designed to give you a high-quality workout experience with premium equipment, plenty of space, and an energizing atmosphere. Our lounge has become one of the more popular public spaces, perfect for a family game night or catching the big game. Of course, our restaurant and bar is located right on the beach, so you can enjoy the most beautiful sunsets in the world. We look forward to welcoming you home. For more information, please visit www.tbr.travel.
Welcome home.
All right, we're back. Damn, going 2 hours, 21 minutes. This thing's going flying. All right, I think we're gonna start wrapping up what we got going on this week. We got Throp-X New York City Connect. I want to remind everybody, if you're in the New York City area and you want to come to the meetup, would love to meet you. It's going to be September 6th, about 12 p.m. at a location in New York City. If you are a Patreon, you can look out for the what would I say, the behind the scenes tour of Treasure Beach. And you know, one thing that as I'm saying this, one thing that I'm going to be doing this year for Throp-X, and everybody's going to get it early, is we're going to put out the list of the properties, at least as many as we can, and the main ones, I would say, like the big ones, if you will, main ones, big ones, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put it out early, and I think what that's going to do is hopefully, and especially with there being so many options in Treasure Beach, we're going to have to, I think we're going to have to splinter off, because if we're, usually, I'm anticipating, say 60 people, 60, 70 people max, I would hope to go, that's going to be going to Treasure Beach. And if it changes, like, we'll see, we'll adjust, right? But 60 or 70 people walking and going to some places, I don't think everybody's going to get all their questions answered. And I do want this to be, as Throp-X has been, like a very intimate experience and a very premium experience. And I want people to feel as if whatever it is that they're looking for, that they get, whatever information that they're seeking, that they get. And I think going to Treasure Beach, and once we get there, we're going to have to splinter off into smaller groups. And I think one way of doing that, and I'm willing to discuss with you all, is like
one way that we can do that is like if you're looking for, say, a villa, or you're looking for a piece of land, or that you're just very specific on what you're looking for, and you know what it is because we put out that information before you got to Jamaica and before we took this tour, then you'll go with Group A. And if you're looking for such and such, you'll go with Group B. I think that's the way we're gonna do it, and make it a very more specified experience, and but you're still gonna get a general sense of everything, but because there's just so much to see in Treasure Beach, to be honest. There's just so much to see in Treasure Beach. And I think taking around a group of 60 or 70, you may be getting people in a group, or some people that have zero interest in this. And what made me spark that is because there is possibly a hotel that that we're looking at to be on the tour. It's not confirmed, but we're working on it. And the numbers are the numbers, and this thing could be like turn into a situation of doing like a condo conversion, a hotel condo conversion. And it seems this is very premature, extremely, extremely premature. Don't hold me to this, but like this is kind of where my head is at, and something that I'm working on is that there could be an opportunity, looking at the numbers and as I understand it, of converting that hotel into condos. And I know that is something that is very, very popular amongst this community, and it has been done before in this community. And that's one thing I think it would be good to gauge the interest in something of that nature. And something that's been on my mind. And again, you're a Patreon, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is kind of the, along the lines of the thinking. And I'm just like, I kind of just like to be a little bit transparent of like, my thoughts haven't been like totally put together. But at the same time, I think it's good to kind of ideate with you all and get the feedback, because that's what we did last weekend. You guys had me in a car to Treasure Beach just a few days later, like driving all over Treasure Beach, looking at all these different properties and making me look at Treasure Beach just from a completely different perspective. So anyway, that's kind of where my thought is with that, and just kind of wanted to bring that to you. It's just like that's a serious opportunity that we're looking at that I think could be good for so many people. They're just coming in at a much lower price point, and you're just getting so much bang for your buck in a huge way. Let's let me go to a few more. What else is happening this week? I think that's it. The Throp-X, I'm going to do I think that's one of the main reasons why I want to leave on Friday, so I can do the live stream on Thursday. I couldn't travel on Thursday and do the live stream on Thursday. So I'm thinking about doing that, doing the live stream on Thursday, leaving Friday, going to New York, Saturday doing the New York City Connect. Again, sign up if you're interested, and then live stream again on Sunday. That's what we got going on this week. We got a newsletter. I mean, I'm so backed up on the newsletter. It's crazy, but newsletter will be out this week, 100%. Instagram post updates coming this week as well. And sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already at thropx.com, so you can keep up with what's going on. And also a way for you to stay in touch with me. Let's go to some comments before we close out. Foxy Lady says, big up Travelers Beach Hotel, Negril. Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Giart says, when are you coming back to the Ned London? We're going to do that again. We're doing like the London Connect is going to be an annual event. Hands down. It was so freaking awesome. But probably depends on that if I get into Japan. Tokyo Marathon, but we'll see. But more than likely, it'll be in the spring. I don't want to do it in the winter if I can avoid it, but more than likely in the spring sometime. I was trying to do. Maybe I need to try harder. But I was trying to do the Ned New York. That would have been so cool if we did our London event and a New York event at the same place. That would be so cool. But maybe next time. Wolves and Accolades, what's going on? Canvas Monster Avila would be sick. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. The Liquor Creep says, so we want Jamaicans to again become a colony of world power a la Britain. We should consider the negatives. People, what's the point if Jamaica becomes a satellite country for some foreign empire? Okay. Jewel Voss says, what hospital serves Treasure Beach? Black River Hospital, which is about 45 minutes away. Nicole says, Throp, you mentioned a credible contractors list if available. If we email you, send an email. Oh, I must have missed that one. Can you resend? I must have missed that. Sorry about that, Nicole. Geart somebody says, we look forward to see you. It was great. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed that. Black River Hospital, like a 4-star hotel. Really? That's awesome. Good to know. Okay. So one other thing I want to mention before we leave is I don't even know what to call this panel, but one thing we've been talking about is the again, I don't know what to call it, the singles, the dating part of Throp-X, and this is something that I didn't want to do. And so before people start going, this idea came from the what happened in the last 2 years. So in the last 2 years, we've had attendees who come to Throp-X who have met the love of their life, if you will, and they have gotten married. So we have 2 marriages that have come out of Throp-X, which is amazing. Not why I started this, not why I put this investment conference together, but what it showed me, and it also makes sense, is that you got very forward-thinking people, smart people who are like-minded, Jamaica first, and is just as passionate about Jamaica as I am. And you put them in one room over a roof. We spend some time together. Of course, sparks are going to fly. Like it just makes sense. And it was in speaking with the Throp, my brain is so tired right now. Our Patreon group, the Throppers Think Tank, excuse me, that was being pushed. It was like, hey, look, we're moving to Jamaica. Some of us are single, and it's just like Jamaica is our dream, but it's also like we are looking for companionship at the same time. And it's like it's difficult anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world to doing the whole modern dating thing. And as I said before, people aren't necessarily born where they're supposed to be. And I think it's a beautiful thing when people find Jamaica, and Jamaica is just in total alignment with who they are. And I understand those folks who are looking for companionship, because those of us who are in the single realm, like that's what we want out of life. And for those who are in a great relationship and married and have families, like we're very happy for you as well. But for the single folks, that is, they're just saying that like if there is an opportunity to do something official and controlled, that they would be interested in it. So my mind is like, okay, I am not matchmaker. I don't want to play matchmaker. And I said this in the Throppers Think Tank group. And this is also not what Throp-X is about. And, I want to make that very clear. People are coming here and looking for investment opportunity, looking to make connections with contractors, with real estate lawyers, with realtors, et cetera, and learn. But then there's also like the life part of it, which I understand. So I'm like, all right, how do we do this? So we're basically essentially looking into getting, and this is not going to be like a thing, like, so it's going to be a panel, and then we're looking to do some sort of activation that's offsite, that doesn't necessarily will not affect anybody at Throp-X who's not there for that kind of thing. And so we're going to have an offsite activation for folks who are interested in meeting other folks. And I'm not going to even do it. We're going to even have an outside professional, and it's not going to be the thing. It's not going to define Throp-X in any way, but I think it's important that like I acknowledge that this is amazing, beautiful thing. 4 people are now married because of this event. Great, like life-changing in other ways. So I'm proud of that. So I just wanted to kind of update you guys on that, and we're just figuring out how to do it in the most professional way possible. And to me, hiring a professional and bringing on a professional is the best way. All right. That was that announcement. Georgina Jarrett says, can we book the 2-bedroom for Christmas? The suites at Travelers? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure. Like, I would say your best bet is probably to call Travelers. Trying to see. So yeah, reach out to Travelers directly. You can what would I say? Reservation. I should know this. Reservations at tbresorts.com. Or you can go to the website, but if you want to contact them directly, there you go. All right. King Naldo says, hi, Throp. Happy Sunday, Throppers. Development in Jamaica is too centralized to Kingston, Montego Bay, Ochi, and Mandeville. Those cities are typically focused on the expense of the entire South Coast. I think this is another reason why I'm like so happy to be going South Coast. Like, I think it's going to be great. Well said, King Naldo. Well said. Treasure Beach ambiance. Metro Elena says, I'm going to send you an email regarding the process of getting my real estate license and the contractors list. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Dawn Throp, you provide valuable information. It's important. Thanks. You're welcome. No problem. I think we're going to wrap things up. Joe Vaz says, are you on the market? Maybe, maybe not. We're going to leave it there. I want to leave it there. I'm not going to confirm nor deny. All right. Oh, this was a really fun Sunday. This was, we went all over the place, but I think we talked mostly real estate. If you haven't seen, let me see, I'm checking it right now. If you haven't seen the video on the 4 Zs, you can check it out now. As a matter of fact, let me throw that in the comment section here, and you guys can check it out. Yo, who's blushing? Who's blushing now, though? Who's blushing? I don't know what you're talking about. This is a great place to end the stream. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you all for hopping on. This was great. And remember, Throp-X 2025 is from November 16th to November 22nd. You can go to thropx.com for your tickets. And if you want more information, you can do that as well. Guys are closing out right now. See you guys on Thursday. Peace.
Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Throp-X. This is my annual Jamaica investment conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is the real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move to Jamaica. For more information, please visit thropx.com and join our mailing list.